Almost every day, you choose comfort over the thing you know actually matters. Not because you don't care, not because you're lazy. You just do it anyway. But somehow, the couch always wins. Today, we're finding out why your brain keeps making that choice for you. This isn't about laziness. Plenty of hard-working, driven people still feel this pull. They know what they want. They just can't seem to move toward it. The frustrating part is, knowing what to do was never really the problem. Doing it, while comfort keeps whispering that it can wait, is the actual battle. And it's not that comfort feels amazing. It's that comfort feels safe. And safe is exactly what your brain is built to protect. Here's the truth. Your brain was never designed to make you successful. It was designed to keep you alive. And for most of human history, alive meant staying with what's familiar and avoiding anything uncertain. This is called homeostasis. Your brain constantly tries to return you to a stable, known state. Anything that disrupts that state, even a good change, gets treated as a threat. That's why starting something new feels uncomfortable, even when you want it. Your brain isn't reacting to danger, it's reacting to difference. There's also a reward problem. Comfort gives your brain an instant, guaranteed reward. Success only pays out later, and only if everything goes right. Given a choice between a small reward right now and a bigger reward later, your brain very often takes the smaller one now. That's not weakness. That's just how the reward system is wired. This is called temporal discounting. The further away a reward is, the less real it feels, even if it's actually worth more. And there's a twist to this. Every time you avoid something a little uncomfortable, your comfort zone shrinks a bit more. So the next challenge, even a small one, starts to feel bigger than it actually is. There's also something called negativity bias. Your brain naturally pays more attention to what could go wrong than to what could go right. So even a small risk of failure can outweigh a much bigger chance of success. And this gets worse as the day goes on. Willpower works a bit like a battery. The more decisions and effort you've already spent, the less resistance you have left by the time comfort makes its evening offer. There's one more layer to this. Change doesn't just threaten your routine, it quietly threatens your identity too. If you've always been the person who doesn't try, becoming someone who does can feel almost like becoming a stranger to yourself. So every time you choose comfort, you're not choosing it because success doesn't matter to you. You're choosing it because your brain is doing quick math, and comfort always looks like the safer bet in the moment. Let's look at how this plays out in everyday life. Think about someone who stays in a job they've outgrown. The job isn't exciting anymore, but it's known. They know the people, the routine, the paycheck. A better opportunity might exist somewhere else, but it's uncertain, and uncertain is the one thing your brain refuses to trust. So the known job wins year after year, not because it's better, but because it's familiar. This is loss aversion working quietly in the background. Leaving doesn't just risk losing a paycheck. It risks losing an identity you've built for years, the version of you that knows exactly where they stand. No interview, no offer letter can promise that same certainty back. Or think about a hard conversation someone keeps avoiding, with a partner, a friend, or a boss. Speaking up might actually fix things, but staying quiet keeps the day predictable. So the same tension repeats, month after month, quietly, because familiar tension still feels safer to your brain than an unknown outcome. Here's the strange part. Your brain isn't really protecting you from conflict. It's protecting you from not knowing how the other person will react. A known discomfort, even one that hurts, still feels more manageable than an unknown one. So silence keeps winning, not because it's peaceful, but because it's predictable. The good news is, you don't have to fight your brain's wiring. You just have to work with it a little smarter. So let's talk about how. First, stop comparing comfort to success. Compare it to regret instead. Comfort feels good for an hour. Regret can quietly sit with you for years. Picture your future self, not tomorrow, but a year from now, looking back at tonight. Ask what that version of you wishes you'd started today. Think about the workout you skipped a year ago. You don't remember the comfort of that missed hour. You remember wishing you'd started sooner. Once your brain sees that real, long-term cost, comfort stops looking so harmless. Second, use the 5-minute rule. Tell yourself you only have to do the hard thing for 5 minutes. This works because the resistance you feel isn't really about the task. It's about the size of the decision sitting in your head. You don't decide to write an entire report. You just decide to open the document for 5 minutes. And once it's open, stopping suddenly feels harder than continuing. Your brain resists big changes, but it barely notices small ones. Third, shrink the goal until it stops feeling uncertain, and decide ahead of time exactly when you'll do it. Your brain doesn't resist effort, it resists the unknown. A goal like get healthy feels threatening because it's vague, but walk for 10 minutes at 7 in the morning is specific enough that there's nothing left to negotiate with in the moment. When the decision is already made in advance, comfort doesn't get a chance to argue. Fourth, reward the small steps, not just the final result. Every time you notice even a tiny bit of progress, your brain slowly learns that effort can feel good too, not just comfort. Something as small as quietly telling yourself, "I did the hard part," after 5 minutes of work, starts to rewire what your brain reaches for the next time. Fifth, make comfort a little less convenient. Put the phone in another room. Delete the app that eats your evenings. When comfort takes a little more effort to reach, you naturally lean toward the harder, better choice instead. It isn't about willpower. It's about giving your brain one less easy exit. Sixth, tell someone your goal out loud. Once another person knows, quitting quietly becomes a little less comfortable than continuing. That small bit of social accountability often does more than willpower ever could, because now the discomfort of stopping outweighs the discomfort of continuing. And seventh, relabel discomfort itself. Instead of reading it as a warning sign, read it as a growth signal. Your brain still reacts the same way either time, but what you choose to do next changes completely. And give yourself permission for a slow, unimpressive start. Progress rarely looks like much at first. Judging yourself against the finished version of the goal before you've even begun is often what sends you running straight back to comfort. Wanting comfort doesn't make you weak or unmotivated. It just means your brain is doing exactly what it was built to do, protect you from the unknown. But success was never going to live in the unknown-free zone. It lives right on the other side of it. So the goal isn't to remove comfort completely, it's to stop letting it quietly decide your whole life, one easy choice at a time. Because a life built entirely around comfort will always feel safe. It just rarely feels like the life you actually wanted. So think about it. What's one thing you've been putting off simply because comfort was the easier option today? Maybe today's the day that 5 minutes actually starts. You don't need to feel ready. You just need 5 minutes braver than comfort was expecting. If this video helped you understand yourself a little better, subscribe to Better Within, because every better life begins with a better mind. Until next time, learn better, think better, live better.